she'd always thought. They wore garlands of flowers around their necks, lavish necklaces underneath, then the dupatta, the lehenga, the tika, and armloads of bangles, with ears weighed down by earrings the size of small plates. But beneath it all, the brides never seemed to mind. This was their time to shine. And when it came to shine, Pakistanis didn't do things by halves. When the bride and groom were side by side, hands clasped together, they walked to the podium where the MC offered them a microphone each. "Thank you, everyone, for being a part of our special day," the groom began. As he spoke, the crowd began to wander back to their tables. Saima headed to a seat, which thankfully was at the back of the hall and close to the exit. She liked to observe the weddings she'd helped to arrange from her vantage point and not interfere in the proceedings. It also meant she could leave quietly when she was ready. "Auntie!" the bride suddenly exclaimed loudly into the microphone. Saima ignored her, assuming she was calling out to one of her relatives. "Saima auntie?" "What?" Saima stopped in her tracks. The blood rushed from her face. She was the auntie? Was this the moment? That pivotal moment where she went from being a young woman going about her business to being lumped in with the aunties and all the connotations, gossip and excess arm fat included, that went with it? As she turned around, she noted, for the most part, curious smiling eyes, but also some that were narrowed and beady, the eyes of women twice her age running their gaze up and down her body. The women's hushed whispers rang loudly in Saima's ears. "I'm only 33, she wanted to yell. By the time she looked back at the bride, she had composed her face into one of serene graciousness. "I just wanted to start off by thanking Saima auntie here, though, sorry, I really should be calling you Baji, shouldn't I? I never know how to get that right. Who's a Baji, who is an auntie? It's all a bit confusing, am I right?" The bride laughed self-consciously. "It was Saima here. Is it okay if I call you Saima? It was Saima who brought us together, which was why I wanted to thank her first. Without her matching us up, this guy next to me would still be living at home, getting his mum to wash his jadis." The crowd erupted with laughter, and I would have risked becoming the career woman who never found time for love. Warm applause. "You're only 24, Saima wanted to reply. "You've got nothing but time on your side." But she knew that by traditional South Asian standards, by 24 you were expected to be married and contemplating giving birth to your first child, if not your second. Small wonder then at 33 she was being seen as an auntie. "So anyway, if you're looking for a matchmaker, I say give Saima a go, because she's really good at what she does and I'm sure she'd appreciate your business." The bride smiled beatifically at her for a moment before moving on to thank the many friends and family in attendance. Saima's face felt hot. Not just content with calling her an auntie, the bride had also mentioned her business. Usually, the couples she matched didn't thank her in their wedding speeches at all. If they did, they just mentioned her in passing. And they most certainly did not refer to her services as a business that needed actual clients to keep going. She felt dozens of eyes on her. Her head began to throb in time to the pulsing in her feet as the straps of the new shoes dug into her toes. She started moving again towards her table. She could quickly eat the entree, which would arrive soon, and head to the exit. The thought of throwing off her heels, putting on a pair of PJs and burying her head in a giant bag of chips and a binge on Netflix presented itself in her mind like a shimmering mirage. Another woman accosted her on her way back to her seat. "So you're a matchmaker?" She had tasteful blonde streaks through her hair, cleverly concealing any sign of greys against the black, enormous eyelash extensions and fierce eyebrows. She may well have been over 50, those eyebrows suggested, but don't you dare go and call her auntie. Saima pinned a vague, pleasant smile on her face, thinking longingly of her seat and the exit beyond. The woman let her laser gaze run the length of Saima's body, gathering facts on age, weight, height, and complexion. Saima could almost hear her thoughts. Somewhere around 30 years of age, though the bride called her auntie, so maybe closer to 35. Could lose a couple more kilos, but not too skinny, that's good. 5'4", good height. Very tanned, but a few weeks indoors with the right skin cream could fix that. Probably a wheaty...